There we go. So now everything's recording. I got my notes. I got the trailer bit up. I think we're ready for a show, man. Did you watch Marvel, by the way? Did you finish that?
No, I did not. Like,
Yeah.
so what happened was I got home from work last night, and one of my buddies was here, and we were playing Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's unfortunately a better use of your time. I'll talk about that after I say welcome to the daily cup of genre here on the Genreverse Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcast from, and on the Genreverse Podcast Network YouTube channel, part of the big LRMonline.com family. So make sure you go there every day for all of your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. And we're sponsored by the good folks over at Grow Generation. More on them a little bit later in the episode. I'm Kyle Malone at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. That's at Manny Gomez. That's his name as well. At Manny Gomez Media on Twitter. Yeah, man, Miss Marvel. I did a full review as part of our multiverse Marvel Multiverse Mayhem podcast here, and you guys can check that out. For something that started out so strong in the first three episodes, the last three just ruin it all. And even though the last episode has some really good moments, some really poor writing, and the burden of the last two episodes really just tore it down. And messy writing for the villains, the antagonists, we'll say. It becomes real frustrating. So as a series, I think I gave it like a C+.
Mm-hmm.
And for the finale, and I would have to kind of up some of the first three episode grades probably, but this was like a B+ at best. And that's ignoring like complete logic and really just trying to accept it as what they did with it, and still struggling to go beyond a C+. So really disappointing, man.
So the one thing I did hear about, and then whatever, it's at the end, and I'm privy to too much information anyway sometimes. But that it may be setting up a certain type of Marvel character.
Yeah. It is definitely doing that. I don't want to spoil anything here, but yeah, I discuss exactly what those implications are, and
isn't it? It's kind of backwards, isn't it?
Yeah, to a degree, and not only that, but you and I have discussed a lot about how certain things need to be done because of certain character traits, characteristics that are incredibly important, but are hard to replicate if you're not careful. So we'll get off of that.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, but Miss Marvel is an Inhuman.
Well,
right?
Originally, but not in this at all.
No, I know that's what I mean originally.
Yeah, originally, but Marvel doesn't want to use Inhumans for anything.
Why? Because they ruined them.
Yeah, basically. I'm sorry. I think my wife and son just came home. If you can hear the dogs barking out back. I do want to stick with since we started off with Marvel before we get to the Lord of the Rings of Power trailer. There was another rumor / leak, if you will. This one pertains to Wakanda Forever, and it's nothing too shocking. Like this will eventually come out in regular media, like in their advertising for the movie. Like this will not be one of those held for the theaters type thing, I guess. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but light spoilers coming ahead. Let me bring this over. In Wakanda Forever, we're getting, of course, more Wakanda, but we're also going to see the MCU's version of Atlantis and Namor. We've already seen artwork from them. Who else do you think, if you're bringing in Namor, who else big Marvel anti-hero or straight up antagonist do you think would is just the icing on the cake for Wakanda Forever, Manny? Who should show up?
I'm not sure.
What if I told you it might be Victor Von Doom? Ooh.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it would be a weird place to see him.
So there's a Reddit post over at Marvel Studios Spoilers. It's been on some other places as well. And this is Cam's kind of like write up and take, and then I'll give a quote. He says that the image shows a very comic accurate Doom sans the cape, which we are assured just isn't in this drawing. The image shows Doom looking like he is Darth Vader, about to force choke whoever that fool guy is standing in front of him. There's no indication of who Doom is facing. So the actual Reddit post says also, it's quote, it's implied he's been around for a while. He's on the throne, cape, the works. Think Birch and Claw as chess pieces they've been behind. I wouldn't be shocked if no dialogue, closing in on casting at the moment. So it sounds like a maybe the stinger, like a post credits scene, potentially. Just some light details, and then I will bring over the actual Reddit post, and this is some previs work. Manny, I'll share it with you so you can take a look. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's potentially some early previs for Doom in Wakanda Forever.
I mean, if you're doing Secret Wars, you kind of have to do Doom. Like,
well, yeah.
And if
what do you think, man?
It's a weird place to stick him in, but if it's like you said, like a post-credit scene, like I guess, I just feel like we should have already seen something. You know,
yeah.
We talked about it yesterday. I know that, but it just, well, I just want to see the context of it, of how he's introduced, but I just think we should have been teased a little bit, maybe. And I know that we go, yeah, okay, we already saw Mr. Fantastic or whatever, but that was almost like just for like a fan moment that they put them in there.
It was. That was literally just polling Reddit for what they wanted to see.
Yeah. So and kudos for them for doing that.
Yeah, sure.
So, but it's cool because while Krang is great and everything, he's not really secret. Yeah, Kang. Sorry, sorry.
Krang is great. I love some General Krang.
I still got turtles on my mind, which you have no problem of.
I have turtles on my body.
Okay, well, there it is. Kang's great and everything, but I'd prefer to see Doom, and Kang. I don't mind either if he's like a bigger thing down the line. I don't know.
Doom over Doom showing up, will that over, because we're gonna see Wakanda Forever before we see Quantum Mania. Will that overshadow the next appearance of Kang or what, man? Like I'm a fan of old Avengers books and villains in general. So there's lots of stuff I've read with Kang that's been great. Lots of things with Loki and Thanos and everyone you can imagine, But Doom always had a special place, and he always had that great ability to be an awesome team threat against X-Men, against Avengers, against Defenders, against whatever,
Mm-hmm.
But also he made some compelling one-on-one threats, and not just with Reed. To be honest, Doom makes a better Iron Man villain than he does a Fantastic Four villain, man. I love almost every time those two show off, because Doom is every bit a genius in and of his own right, but he also gets to use the magic. But Tony's a little bit smarter even without the magic, but because of the magic, it made such a great and their personalities. No one loves themselves more than themselves. They're so And I'm so sad that we will never ever get a Doom Stark MCU moment.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but you can't have everything. So
No.
yeah, I didn't mind the first Doctor Doom.
Hmm.
I thought it wasn't too bad. It's just
The look was good.
yeah.
Like I don't think people like if you guys have not seen what was that 2004 or something, if you guys have not seen it, it's not 2005. That's what it was. It's not the greatest movie in the world. We recently watched it this year for Marvel Multiverse Mayhem, but the Doom costume is
It's pretty good,
freaking spot on, man. Like it is not bad at all.
The second one
There
looks
was
like a
some
crash test
concept
dummy.
art. Yeah, the second one was stupid, but the first one, yeah, sure, the coat instead of a cape is a bit much, but the mask is good, the coloring's good. You get some cloak coat decorations. Like
Hmm.
it was a pretty damn good costume. Crappy version of the character. Of course, this was a hell of a lot worse. But yeah, man, I hope I hope it's done well. But then the question becomes, where are the Fantastic Four? How long have they been around? Or are we gonna just see some sort of man? I don't want to say anything because it'll bring up some other spoilers. You know what? You guys are gonna have to cope with this because I gotta talk to Manny about these things. So consider this a spoiler warning for you guys. Spoiler warnings for Miss Marvel and some other things Marvel related. So there's your warning. All right, Manny, the word mutant was finally,
Oh,
or
okay. So we're going
mutation
there.
was finally mentioned in the MCU in Miss Marvel. Bruno's talking to Kamala about their body scan that they did a while ago. He
Mhm.
said there's something different in you, which is funny because it's like, of course there's going to be mutations. Fucking half of hers from a different dimension, or a quarter of hers from a different dimension, and then 3/4 of hers human. But apparently one of those three quarters has a mutation, and she says, they'll I'm sure they'll find a label for it. And part of the sloppy writing in this show has been DODC, who they both tried to use to remind us of how law enforcement was with Muslims post 9/11, to how they are actually anti random people having superpowers. The aggression they show in the show has nothing to do with the mosque or the community. Has everything to do with powers, and that's connecting us and starting to build in the anti-mutants sentiment, right? Because Marvel, fortunately or unfortunately, wrote a pretty diverse universe, a diverse government within that universe, and makes it really weird to see them try to write DODC that way. But anyways, so yeah, we're getting our mutants, and along with the Fantastic Four, if Doom is established, he's already been in charge for a while of Latveria or whatnot. Where have the Fantastic Four been? Unless you're gonna do that like time rip idea that I had. Him and the Four go off into space or whatever. He gets kicked out early and is back here on Earth, time passing like normal. The Fantastic Four go through weird time warp. It's like 20 years for them, nothing for Earth or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or 60 years for Earth and only like five years for them. But then you got to think about the mutants, man. Like the big question, Charles and Magneto. You and I have said you especially Magneto has to have two sets of trauma. One, because of who he is born as, being born into a Jewish family, practicing Jewish blood in the early mid 20th century. Bigotry through that and the Holocaust, and then bigotry from being a mutant. And we've talked, you could use this civil rights era. Well, if you go for Americans in the civil rights era, that's 60 plus years ago still. Now you're still looking at an incredibly old, you got a 9-10 year old. They're still pushing 70 years old these days. So what do you do? What in the last 30 years has been so traumatic that it can, I mean, nothing can really equate with the Holocaust, especially not in any modern sense of history. But what comes closest? You know what I'm saying? You have to start looking elsewhere. You have to start looking at conflicts in Eastern and Central Europe during like the fall of during post World War II and the 1980s and 1990s. Some of the like Slavic wars and things like that. You got to look into African conflicts and Arab Middle Eastern conflicts, things in South East and Southwest Asia. You start thinking even Vietnam, maybe. Like, what do you do for that, man? What do you do, Manny? What do you want to see? How are we getting a Charles and a Magneto?
Well, the thing is, based on how they kind of jumped the gun and used Inhumans early on, and to try and counteract the back then the not effects thing that they did not own at the time, and just based on how they've treated other characters, I think that they'll do whatever fits their universe, the MCU, versus actual comic book continuity, which is kind of scary if you think about, because like you just mentioned, the importance of the background between Xavier and Magneto is actually really important. It really number one, it's their bond, and it's the reason why they have such respect for each other, despite the fact that they have differences of opinions and differences in approaches on how they feel mutants should be treated and governed. It just makes it awkward to think that they could just be put in there without that buildup. I mean, even in the early X-Men films, we saw some of that background, and it helped. It was good. It was great.
It's inherent to Magneto's motives and thoughts and person.
So the thought of it in the way that I've seen other characters be nerfed before, all for the glory of the one Mickey Mouse, is and it's kind of scary. But at the same time, we want to see these characters. So I guess we just take it for what it is. It just, like, for example, if you mentioned, if like Doctor Doom's being introduced, then we still have Kang, one of those two characters is going to be nerfed. You know it. You're not going to have, unless they're for whatever reason somehow going to be working together, which is possible. One of those characters is not going to live up to the potential that we think they should.
I hope not, man. I like, Kang has so much potential, and Doom, you can't mess him up. You gotta deliver us another Stark level casting like Downey with Doom. You got to offer us another Strange level authenticity of costumes and magic and mannerisms in Doom. And the image that we have, that's a legit looking costume. Like, I dig it. That looks good. I'm happy with it. You got a lot to fill in already. This is the thing Kang has going for him, and Jonathan Majors. One, he can play a dozen different versions of the same character, which is fun in and of itself. But two, not that many people are familiar with the character outside of the comics, and he hasn't been in any of the movies. This isn't a reboot, recast or anything. This will be the third Doom we've had, and it's got to be a home run. So, any casting ideas
for Doom?
For Doom. If he's been on the throne, he's got to be in his 40s, right?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna choose the person I choose for everything aged 25 to 40, because I think this guy's got to be in his 40s. So not can't use Law. He was already in something. Not Jackman. No. Crow's been used, Rockwell's been used, Fox has been used, Norton's been used. Man, there's been a lot of people in Marvel movies. Tom Hardy's been used, Josh Brolin's been used, Chris Isaac's been used. Holy crap!
Some names
Oscar Isaac has been used. Fassbender's been used. Chiweedle Edgy fucking Mordo's been used. Joaquin Phoenix for Doctor Doom. How about that?
No, he would never do it.
Look, dude, I seriously was just scrolling down this IMDb of actors under
Marvel.
50, and it's like Marvel.
So a couple of names that I just looked up, like, you know, same kind of the same thing you're doing. Cillian Murphy, I think would
no.
Be, yeah, I do.
No.
I love him as an actor. He's great. What's your issue with him?
He doesn't carry the screen presence for him.
What?
Batshit crazy? Yes. Dude on an edge, dude that's like paranoid and stuff like that. Yes, he does not exude to me Doom. He just doesn't. I see Inception, and I see Scarecrow, and neither one of those.
Have you ever watched Peaky Blinders?
Dude, I don't like Peaky Blinders. Well, I never got into it. I watched it. I didn't get into it. And again, gangster type stuff like that still isn't. That's not Doom. I need someone with like.
It's not
like
about it
presence,
being a gangster
man.
type thing. It's about, you know, it's about his presence. It's about him being methodical and then being able to just turn on that.
I didn't get to watch that much of it. I watched 2 episodes and didn't really care for it.
I think he'd be great. I also think that he's on that show. What's that show called? He's on Walking Dead. Coleman Domingo. I think would be great. His voice is just has that deep presence that I think would be really cool. Plus, he's just a big dude, and I think he'd be great. He was in Candyman also. One of my favorite actors. He may be a little older, but still, like, he can do whatever he wants. Javier Bardem, I think would have that. Oh my god, that just the thing that he, you know, him saying some of those lines he has that big giant, almost like, you know, Josh Brolin presence. That would be really, really good. And so those are a couple of names that I thought. What about Gaston, Luke Evans? I think he'd be nice.
That I don't know.
I like Luke Evans.
Getting out of the traditionally white Eastern Central European, looking at potentially minority actors being cast.
Coleman Domingo's not white.
I know, but I had just mentioned a bunch. You mentioned two Hispanic names, Javier Bardem, and depending on who you asked. Anyways, I won't get into the politics too much. But what about, you know, borrowing from
Don't
DC
say Idris
again?
Elba.
What about him? Dude does actually carry a great presence and has a great voice. Dude, he has an amazing voice for the character, because that's another thing you got to keep in mind. Doom has got to have, and I don't want it needs it. There's only one James Earl Jones, but it needs to have that type of presence to where you're not having to use as many filters and amplifiers, and it's just robotify James Earl Jones. Elba's got that. And I would there's other actors I would love to bring in, like dude that played Mordo, but again he played Mordo. I think he would have a great a Doom like presence and voice. But again, he's already been Mordo, and I don't want to play that type of multiverse of madness game where Baron Mordo becomes Doom. Oh God, what if they did that? Oh man, and then like you can't use Jamie Foxx. Will Smith has got issues with things, and that's all that's on this list for people that are listening to audio
Hey,
only.
what about Sterling K. Brown? He'd be nice.
That
like
is
him.
not ringing a bell. Roll.
He's in he's a couple different things he's in This Is Us. He
Oh
was
yeah. You know, maybe I'd have to go back and watch his roles again. I'm trying to place him in Black Panther too, because I see
yeah,
that
he was
in
he's in Black
that.
Panther.
Oh,
Or
he was the what he was like the king's brother, or the guy that betrayed the king's brother, the informant, the inside guy there at the beginning of the movie. Okay. Yeah.
also, I'll throw one more name at you just because you wanted non-white people. Dev Patel. He's in Green Knight, Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh, yeah. I could see that. I could see that. It would be interesting to see if they change the location and or the name of the Doom's capital and country based on if they go with a person that's not Central Eastern European. But yeah, man, there's a lot of potential. The person I cast for everything age 25 to 40 is I don't know how to say his name properly. Daxry, Dak Gray, whatever, Montgomery, fucking Billy from Stranger Things, and played Jason the Red Power Ranger in the 2017 movie. Dude, I think he could be cast as just about anything. The 2017 Power Rangers movie is actually really good. It's totally been slept on.
Yes,
And
besides the fact that they did the Megazords dirty.
yeah, the Zords were stupid. Look, the aesthetics for the suits and the Zords I don't care for, but the character development, the story, the dude, that was so badass. Starting off with Zordon as a Red Ranger, that shit was awesome. Anyways, that and his turn as Billy in seasons 2 and 3 of Stranger Things, really, like, I was like, dude, someone put this guy in a Marvel or DC movie. It's like, we need a Hal Jordan, Montgomery. We need a Johnny Storm. Get fucking Montgomery. Put him in something. Put them in something. I want to see it. Anyways, we need to take an ad break, and then we're going to come back and react to a trailer for the Rings of Power.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. For all of your cultivation needs, Grow Generation has the right products, service and staff to make your grow successful. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
Thank you guys so much for sponsoring the episode. Link down in the description box below. Manny, are you excited for Lord of the Rings of Power?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, legit?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love Lord of the Rings.
Well, let's see what we got here. Manny, make a good reaction face, because it's going to be on the screen for the rest of the time. There. Got it. All right. Let's watch this. 13 billion years, or no, wait, we're 3 billion years ago. We were young.
But even then,
looks good.
Yeah,
Ooh, pretty.
the aesthetic of it's very, very good. See, all these sceneries scream Lord of the Rings.
Yep. And I mean, it looks good too. Lots of trailers these days, CGI has been rough.
Yeah.
We're safe.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
Nobody should ever say we're safe in a movie or TV
No.
show.
Put up your sword.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
Right behind you.
You have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen.
Nice.
Yep.
What I have seen.
Oh, you've seen what I've seen. What you've seen, haven't seen. Still seen.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth. It will be the end, not just of our people.
This looks pretty grand.
Lots of big shots. Yeah.
Like they're looking for scale.
Hey, dwarves.
The past is with us all.
Okay.
It's dead.
I'm always down for some cavalry battles.
Mm-hmm.
Or we die with
The Navy stuff, the water CGI was a little off. That was the first thing that I noticed. Okay. Okay. September 2nd, Rings of Power.
Birthday.
That's your birthday?
Day after.
Oh. Is there a stinger? Nope. That's it. Cool, man. Yeah, I liked how epic it seemed, how grand it all tried to feel. Most of the elements that were CGI were still good looking, except the boat. But water's always hard to do. Navy stuff or maritime stuff is always difficult to do, whether you're doing practical or CG. I don't know much about the age that they're in. I am a person that's read The Hobbit unfortunately twice for school, once in middle school, once in high school, and then Lord of the Rings in middle school, because my gifted English arts teacher was upset. Our literature teacher was obsessed with it. We had separate language arts and literature. Anyways, but I didn't read all the extra material. I didn't go into the past stuff. It's I like fantasy when it's really good and engaging, and I can enjoy a lot of fantasy games and movies. But books, they've got to hit a certain way, and a lot of them don't. But what'd you think overall, man?
I think it has the look, it has the aesthetic that we need, that we're looking for, as far as what a Lord of the Rings should look like. Definitely distincts itself very differently from, like, let's say, like a Wheel of Time or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you think that some of these shows, they might run together based on, if Amazon's doing both of them or something like that. But
Yeah.
it definitely does a good job at saying this is Middle Earth, this is Lord of the Rings, this is what fans know it as. And so what's going to come down to me is character development, really, and how the plot, how the dialogue really makes us care for them. That's going to be really important, because everything else looks good. Now make me care for these new characters, because in Lord of the Rings I have so many beloved characters, but it's because of the journey I've been through with them. So
Yeah.
I think that was because when you think of Lord of the Rings, because of the fact that in The Hobbit and the other three movies and books are centered around almost similar characters,
Mm-hmm.
there has that familiarity. So this one's going to be pulled way back in pre all that, and so it'll be important for us to care about certain people, I think, in order to be really pulled in. So,
and that's why you have a couple of familiar elves to go along with, and even some dwarven names that of legend that have been mentioned in the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit stuff, and that's pretty much, like you said, to help try to create some sort of anchor, even though these are not tied to like the Peter Jackson movies. It's not like this is a prequel series for that. The way Cam is really a like subject matter expert on Lord of the Rings here on LRM in the Genreverse, they were given freedom to play around in an area that does not have a lot written about it, but they were given very, very strict rules with what they could and couldn't do with the characters that were alive back then. Cam does say it feels like they're condensing a lot of history to tell more more existing stories within their sandbox, but stay tuned. I'm fairly certain Cam will definitely want to do a Lord of the Rings podcast, review podcast with you guys. Maybe Manny might join us, or whoever. We'll see. But stay tuned to Genreverse and LRM for that. Well, man, we had a great conversation at the beginning, and then we did the trailer thing. I was wanting to talk a little bit about Taika Waititi and his comments on deleted films, but maybe we'll save that for another day, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up for today. Tomorrow I'm doing something that I don't do very, very often, and that is
shower.
No, I do that every day. And that's take a planned day off. I usually don't. If I miss anything, it's because I couldn't do something, or someone else couldn't do it, and it's just not fun to do alone. But my in-laws are coming in, and this show would run up close to the time to leave to go get them from the airport. And plus, I guess, they're my in-laws. I may as well hang out with them a little bit. So my wife's sitting there looking at me. No, I'm lucky that Christine and I both enjoy each other's parents. We don't have the traditional sitcom I hate your mother, I hate my mother type thing. So yeah. So I won't be here tomorrow. But you'll still get Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast, later on Friday, if not early Saturday, and then we'll be back next week to do all of this over again. Let me get you guys out of here by saying check out LRM Online, LRMonline.com every day for all of your entertainment news, needs, and opinions.
You got this.
And we got interviews, reviews, news, leaks, and rumors. Our opinions and takes on all of those. All of the podcasts are available there. The interviews head over to the LRM YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe there. And I forgot to open up the Genreverse channel. And there it is, playing our little trailer I made too long ago. Need to update. Hit the red subscribe button on the YouTube channel for great shows like Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast. They do weekly news and usually a movie or show review, as well as Marvel Multiverse Mayhem. Just finished Miss Marvel. We should be going into news and rumors until the next thing to review. Anime Versal Reviews is doing Classroom of the Elite Season 2. And what am I missing? Oh, the Cantina does Star Wars news and reviews, and I do the Genre Shot trailer reactions there. And of course, all of the podcasts, not the reactions, are available on all of your favorite podcast apps from Google, Apple, Spotify, all of that good stuff. So yeah. Manny, anything else you wanted? Anything else you wanted to put out?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Well,
I guess just you and I haven't even talked about this, but I'm not sure if you're still going to want to be going live. We'll do, and then while I'm in San Diego, we could still do that. Next week.
Yeah. We'll
next week will be a special week.
Yes, we will be looking at how we'll schedule some stuff from San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, we'll talk to you, I guess, on Monday. Bye.